What's up, WrestleScope Nation? You are not going to believe what just went down on Smackdown. And let me tell you something right now. If you think WWE management has Cody Rhodes back, you're living in a fantasy world. What we witnessed wasn't just a heated exchange. This was a demolition. This was the American Nightmare exposing the corruption that's been festering in Smackdown for months. But here's what nobody is talking about. Nick Aldis, the Smackdown general manager, the man who's supposed to be neutral, the man who's supposed to uphold fairness, just got absolutely eviscerated by Cody Rhodes in front of the entire WWE universe. And I'm going to show you exactly why Cody was 100% justified in doing it. And before you keyboard warriors come at me in the comments saying Cody was disrespectful or he crossed the line, watch this entire video, because I'm going to break down 3 undeniable facts that prove Nick Aldis has been systematically sabotaging Cody Rhodes since WrestleMania 40, and the receipts don't lie. Hit that like button right now if you think Cody Rhodes is the most disrespected champion in WWE today, because what I'm about to reveal is going to blow your mind. Let's set the scene. Smackdown. Cody Rhodes, your undisputed WWE champion, walks into Nick Aldis' office, and from the second he steps through that door, you could cut the tension with a knife. Now, most champions would come in, have a civilized conversation, maybe voice some concerns, but not Cody Rhodes. Not this time, because Cody has been pushed to his absolute limit, and what happened next was 3 months of frustration exploding like a supernova. Cody didn't hold back. He looked Nick Aldis dead in the eyes and said what every single one of us has been screaming at our TVs for weeks. He called out the blatant favoritism. He called out the suspicious booking decisions. He called out every single time Aldis has looked the other way, when the Bloodline 2.0, when Kevin Owens, when anyone has gotten in Cody's face. And here's the thing that absolutely infuriates me. Aldis just stood there with that smug look on his face, like he's untouchable, like he hasn't been playing Puppet Master with the Smackdown roster since he took that general manager position. Cody destroyed him verbally. He brought up specific instances, specific dates, specific moments where Aldis could have intervened but chose not to. This wasn't just a complaint session. This was a prosecution. Cody Rhodes turned that office into a courtroom and delivered a closing argument that would make Johnny Cochran proud. But let me ask you something, WrestleScope Nation. When was the last time you saw a WWE champion have to beg for fair treatment? When was the last time you saw a champion have to literally confront management just to get basic respect? Drop a comment right now with your answer, because this leads me to my first major point. Let's talk facts. Let's talk about the undeniable pattern of disrespect that Nick Aldis has shown Cody Rhodes. And buckle up, because this list is long. Fact number 1. Since becoming general manager, Nick Aldis has made 17 matches for Cody Rhodes with less than 24 hours notice. 17! Meanwhile, other top stars get weeks of promotion, video packages, build-up. But Cody? Last-minute notifications, ambush attacks that Aldis conveniently doesn't see coming, impromptu title defenses that just happen to benefit everyone except the champion. You want to tell me that's coincidence? You want to tell me that's just how the business works? Then explain to me why Roman Reigns never had to deal with this during his 1,316-day reign. Explain why Aldis bends over backwards to accommodate everyone except the man carrying the entire brand on his shoulders. Fact number 2, the Kevin Owens situation. Let's talk about it, because this is where Aldis showed his true colors. Kevin Owens has attacked Cody Rhodes, and I counted this, 9 separate times with 0 consequences. No fines, no suspensions, no title shot revocations, nothing. And every single time Cody goes to Aldis to address it, what does he get? I'll look into it. These things happen. Boys will be boys. Are you kidding me? If I attacked my coworker 9 times, I wouldn't have a job. I'd have a court date. But Kevin Owens gets to run wild on SmackDown with absolutely 0 accountability because Nick Aldis allows it. Fact number 3, the bloodline interference. Now, I know what you're thinking, but the bloodline interferes with everyone. Wrong. Under Aldis' watch, the bloodline has specifically targeted Cody Rhodes in 12 separate matches. 12! And how many times has Aldis thrown out a match? How many times has he reversed a decision? How many times has he actually protected his champion? 0 times. You starting to see the pattern here? You starting to understand why Cody Rhodes walked into that office with fire in his eyes? This isn't paranoia. This isn't a champion being sensitive. This is systematic sabotage. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that nobody else is talking about. This is why you subscribe to WrestleScope, because we dig deeper. Why would Nick Aldis want to undermine Cody Rhodes? What's the end game here? Let me paint you a picture. Nick Aldis, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a man who had his own legendary title reign, a man who lost the NWA World Championship and never got his redemption, a man who watched his wife, Mickie James, have her own legendary career while his fizzled into obscurity. Now he's in a position of power in WWE, and who's the champion? Cody Rhodes, the man who left WWE, conquered the independent scene, elevated the NWA World Championship during Aldis' reign, and then came back to WWE to finish his story and become exactly what Aldis always wanted to be, a true world champion in the biggest company on earth. This isn't about management. This is personal. This is about a bitter husband using his authority to tear down someone who achieved everything he couldn't. And you know what makes this even more twisted? Nick Aldis knows he can't compete with Cody in the ring, so he's fighting a psychological war. He's trying to break Cody mentally. He's trying to create an environment so hostile, so frustrating, so unfair that Cody either snaps or gives up. But here's what Aldis didn't count on. Cody Rhodes doesn't break. Cody Rhodes doesn't quit. And when you back the American Nightmare into a corner, he comes out swinging. So what happens now? Because this is where the story gets absolutely fascinating. Cody Rhodes just publicly embarrassed Nick Aldis. He exposed him in front of the entire WWE universe. He pulled back the curtain and showed everyone exactly what's been happening behind the scenes. And you know Nick Aldis is sitting in his office right now fuming. This is a man whose ego just took a crossroads to the concrete. This is a man whose authority just got questioned on live television. This is a man who now has Paul Triple H Levesque probably calling him saying, "What the hell is going on with Smackdown?" And here's the scary part. Injured animals are the most dangerous animals. Aldis is going to retaliate. He has to. His credibility, his general manager depends on it. So the question isn't if Aldis strikes back, but when and how. My prediction? Aldis is going to make Cody's life hell. We're talking about potentially the most brutal series of title defenses in WWE history. We're talking about stacked odds, impossible stipulations, and matches designed specifically to make Cody lose that championship. And you want to know the genius of Cody's strategy? He did this publicly. He made sure the entire WWE universe witnessed his grievances. So now when Aldis does retaliate, and he will, everyone will see it for exactly what it is, a vindictive authority figure abusing his power. Cody just turned the entire WWE universe into his jury, and that's 4D chess right there, ladies and gentlemen. But there's another layer to this. What if, and hear me out, what if Triple H wanted this to happen? What if this is all part of a larger storyline to eventually remove Nick Aldis as SmackDown general manager? Think about it. Triple H knows compelling television. He knows that authority figure storylines work when done right. Maybe Cody was given the green light to expose all this, to create enough public pressure that Triple H has, quote, no choice but to step in and make changes. That would be brilliant long-term storytelling. Let's zoom out for a second, because this confrontation represents something much bigger than just Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis. This is about a champion refusing to be disrespected. This is about a man standing up for himself when everyone else would just smile and play politics. This is about dignity. Cody Rhodes could have done what most corporate employees do. Keep his head down, play the game, don't rock the boat. But that's not who Cody Rhodes is. That's not the American Nightmare. That's not the man who finished his story. Cody Rhodes represents all of us who have ever had a boss who played favorites. All of us who have ever been overlooked despite working harder than everyone else. All of us who have ever been gaslighted by someone in a position of power who pretends everything is fair when we know it isn't. That's why this moment resonated. That's why this segment is going to be replayed for years, because it was real. The frustration was real, the anger was justified, and the courage it took to stand up to authority, that's what makes Cody Rhodes not just a champion, but a leader. And let me tell you something else. This is exactly the kind of champion WWE needs right now. Not someone who's just going to smile for the cameras and read scripted promos. Not someone who's going to accept mediocrity and poor treatment just to keep the peace, but someone who will fight for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable. Cody Rhodes just sent a message to every single person in that locker room. Don't accept disrespect. Don't let anyone diminish your value. And if you have to burn some bridges to stand up for yourself, then light the match. That's championship material. That's legendary material. So where does this leave us, WrestleScope Nation? We have a champion who just declared war on management. We have a general manager whose authority has been challenged in the most public way possible. We have a power kick situation that's going to explode in the coming weeks. This is appointment television. This is why we watch WWE. This is why Cody Rhodes is the most compelling champion in professional wrestling today. Nick Aldis thought he could control the narrative. He thought he could manipulate situations from behind his desk, but Cody Rhodes just shattered that illusion. He exposed the man behind the curtain, and now the entire WWE universe is watching to see what happens next. This isn't just a storyline. This is a revolution. All right, WrestleScope Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you think Cody Rhodes was justified in ripping Nick Aldis apart? Do you think Aldis has been sabotaging Cody? And most importantly, what do you think happens next? Drop your predictions in the comments right now. Let's get a discussion going. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want more in-depth wrestling analysis that nobody else is giving you, smash that like button, destroy that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell because we're going to be covering every single development in this story as it unfolds. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know because this is the conversation everyone needs to be having. I'm your host, and this is WrestleScope, where we don't just watch wrestling, we understand it. Until next time, keep your eyes on the scope.